Okay, great. Hi, good evening, everybody. So today is gonna be quantitative reasoning again. Today is the last day of week 2 of quantitative reasoning, right? So today is the last day for algebra. That means, yeah. So we're gonna have that today, and yeah. Now we're gonna begin. Please keep these instructions in mind. Make sure you have a stable internet connection and noise-free environment, and um, we recommend you to use your earphones for the best experience. And yeah, please do not write anything inappropriate in the chat box, guys, and please respect everybody in the class. Yeah, moving forward, we have yeah these three memberships: bronze, silver, and gold. You get the following facilities in the bronze membership: 4 week IELTS course, 1 AI watching mock test, usual university recommendation, free profile evaluation, counselor support. All right. As for the silver membership, you get 3 mock tests, one trainer evaluated and 2 AI evaluated. All right. Not only that, you also get usual pro university recommendation, smart application tracking, and 12 IELTS sectional tests. Okay, I think that's a fair deal. And going on to the gold membership, you get one-on-one 20 hours IELTS coaching with the trainer and expert university recommendation and SOP, LOR, and visa facilities as well. Okay, so if you anybody wants to upgrade, please tell me. Okay, I have a surprise for you guys today. Okay, I have a really good surprise for you guys today, so you'll know. Profile evaluation with our experts, university shortlisting, course recommendation, country recommendation. Okay, and you get a recommendations report at the end of the profile evaluation, and it's a personalized report, guys. So it'll be very beneficial for you all, and everything is absolutely free of cost for you all. Okay, we have free live IELTS classes that goes on from Monday to Friday, 7:30 to 8:30. And these are online classes, and it's a 4 week course. Okay, and we have free live Duolingo classes Monday to Friday, online classes, and it's 2 week course. All right, 6:30 to 7:30. Okay, so you can enroll for both of these sessions from our website itself. Okay, avail application waivers and many more related features along with expert counseling. So reach us now, guys. We're going to have this webinar that is going to take place on Saturday, of course, and will be taken by our co-founder, Mr. Jaideep Gurujala. Okay, and this is the link of the webinar. It'll be from 7 to 8, guys, and the topic would be fund your masters abroad, that is education loans. All right, so it'll be about types like collateral versus non-collateral, possibility of loan without a co-applicant, key parameters assessed by lenders, strategies to get low interest rates, loan terms, and repayment options. And any of the doubts that you put in, sir will answer everything. So guys, that's that. So it'll be a very beneficial session for you also. I hope you guys attended. Okay, now this is the surprise, guys. We have taken out an offer for you. In this, you'll get the gold membership absolutely for rupees 499. That's it. Okay, in this you get live IELTS coaching, live GRE coaching, university selection and applications, SOP and LOR writing services, visa support, and loan support. All right. So if a person is doing the classes, then you will get the gold membership for absolutely rupees 499, and all of these services will be provided to you. Only one service won't be provided, that is um one-on-one IELTS coaching with the trainer. Okay, and rest all of the services are provided, and all of these services add up to around 50K plus when other consultants provide you with it. Okay, and when we are providing it just for rupees 499. Okay, so if anybody wants to know or want to take the membership about for the gold membership, just drop in your details in the chat box and my team will get back to you. Okay, guys, I think it's a steal deal actually, and you guys should seriously, you know, take it. Moving forward, these are a few reviews that we've gotten, and this is the homepage of ubergrad.com. Guys, please go on ubergrad.com and register yourselves on the website. All right. Moving forward, go to solutions, go to free profile evaluation, book your slot, okay, according to your feasible date and your feasible time. Go to talk to counselor and book your slot, guys. And see, go to store, you land upon this page, okay, and you can enroll in all of the free courses that we have for you: GRE Comprehensive, Live, Duolingo, IELTS, everything. All right. Coming back to the homepage, uh, you can go to solutions, check out the additional services that you're providing, like forex card, education loans, accommodation, international sim, US credit card, US bank account, all of them. There are so many, there's so much information just on a website, guys. You can explore and explore, and still you won't be able to explore the whole website. We have a lot of information on the website. Okay, you check out the blogs that we've posted. Like, there are a lot of blogs, just, and a lot of detail is given there, so you can just go and check them out. Go to explore, guys, and there are countries, universities, courses, and exams. A lot of details about all of this is given. Okay, for example, I open all about GMAT, right? Just see, all of the information is given about analytical writing, integrated reasoning, quantitative reasoning, verbal reasoning. There's a lot of information. All right, so you can just you know explore and know about all of this stuff just by registering on ubergrad.com. Okay, and then I'll show you how to get the recordings and handouts very quickly. Go to your name over here, go to my test preparation, go to GRE Comprehensive Life Classes course. Okay, and you land upon this page. And for example, quantitative reasoning is going on, so algebra week 2, that is, and day 4's recording is already available, guys. All right, and today's handout is also available. I'm just dropping in the handout link in the chat box, so please do check it out. Yeah, I hope you guys do check it out. Yeah, and yeah, and the recording will be available by tomorrow morning, guys. Weekly handout key is also available, so do your questions and check out the handout key from here only. Okay, and the test would be coming soon, so please be prepared, guys. And I hope you have a great session ahead now. And if you have any queries, you can ask any queries in the end to the moderator. And today the test session will be taken by our co-founder, Mr. Jaideep Gurujala. Okay, and I hope you guys have a great session. Second round of live classes of IELTS gonna start. It has already started this week, Sandesh. So we are doing the reading module. Reading module's last day was today. All right. Next week we're going to begin with listening. So yeah, you can just see the recording for the reading, and then you can come back next week for the listening. All of the live classes are going to begin. Okay. Yeah, it's a 4 weeks. So the first week is over. 3 weeks are remaining. Yeah, Telegram link I'm going to share. All right. Yeah, yeah, it will start again after that, after the 3 weeks. Okay, I'll just hand over the session to sir now. Okay, have a great session, guys. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Supriya. Thank you.
You can take over this.
Thank you. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I hope you guys can hear me, see me. Just a quick check. Let me also check the chat. Great. Thank you. Thank you, Adya. Cool. So let me share my screen. We're gonna do the last part of algebra today. Right. Yeah, I hope you can see my screen also. Yeah, I think it is visible. Great. Stop this. Okay. So what exactly is today's what all have we done so far? I mean, I wasn't there. Delvin sir took the classes, but can someone tell me the topics that we covered? Like, if you guys have attended. Okay, inequalities. Fair. Good. What else? In algebra, I'm talking about. Yeah, we also did ratios and proportions this week, and percentages also, which are part of arithmetic, got extended. Okay. Set theory, yes, that was yesterday's class. We talked about Venn diagrams a little bit, two circle Venn diagrams, basic set theory, equations, perfect linear equations, right? Set of linear equations, perfect, cool. So I guess most of you have been attending the classes regularly. That's really great. So what exactly are we gonna do today? We're gonna pick it up from where we left yesterday, set theory. So we're going to talk about the functions. Formulas are nothing but functions only. Traditionally, what we have been used to in our Indian setup, it's very similar, just a slightly different way of depicting a question or explaining a question. Then we are going to talk about the sequences, the progressions in our language, normally arithmetic progression, geometric progressions. Nothing very advanced, very, very basic level is what we want to see. Okay. So I'm not really gonna get into that mathematical definition or theoretical one, right? What is a function? So see, I would only tell you something like this, okay? Function has nothing but leave even the independent dependent, okay? So I generally call something like this. Imagine that there is an input, just for sake of simplification of the entire discussion, that is supposed to go into a box. Let's call it a black box, okay? And it is supposed to throw an output for me, right? Based on the input, the output is going to be. And what exactly is the output is also going to be defined based on how this black box is, built. That is what function is. If you take y is equals to f of x is the input, right? Then how exactly is the function defined is this black box, and that is going to give me an output called y here in this case, right? Just from this, right? So like these examples, right? So y is equals to 2x plus 1. Let's focus on this, right? So let's imagine my black box function is f of x is equals to 2x plus 1. So let's say input x is equals to 1. So what will be the output? If this is the function 2x plus 1, exactly, right? So you just replace x is equals to 1 in this. So 2 into 1 plus 1 is equals to 3. So that's the 3. So what about if x is 100? The input is 100. What is the output in the same function? Perfect. 2 into 100 plus 3, which is 203. Perfect, right? Okay. So there can be many ways a function could be defined, right? So these are all just some sample functions that we're talking about. That's fundamentally what I want everyone to understand. That when I say, let's say there's a function defined f of x comma y is equals to x square plus y cube. This is a new definition of a function, I'm talking about. So here, only point you need to understand is that there are two inputs. Unlike the earlier example we did here, there was only one input, but here there are clearly two inputs. So there is a function. I will have two inputs called x and y, and the output is going to be the f of x comma y as per this, right? Or let's call it z for just the sake of simplicity, right? So now you tell me from this function definition, what is f of 1 comma 3? F of x comma y is x square plus y cube. Now what is f of 1 comma 3? So it's 1 square plus 3 cube, right? All you have to do is substitute. So x is the first one in this definition. So the first one is 1. So that means x must be equal to 1. The second one is y. So that is 3. So y is 3. So all you have to do is f of 1 comma 3 is 1 square plus 3 cube. It's just replacing. Okay. So it's 1 plus 27, 28. Perfect. I can see. I think Atya, you just made a small mistake. I guess 3 cube is 27, not 9. That's it. It's okay. Right. So let's now move ahead. Now, what about the plotting part, right? So functions, sometimes you can depict as a graph. The detailed discussion of it would be done in coordinate geometry in the next week once we, get into geometry and extend our discussion. The coordinate geometry is an hybrid topic which involves algebra as well as geometry. So we will do it at the last session of the geometry the next week. So what exactly is this graph part? So a function f of x can be depicted in a visual representation also. So this is basically a graph of f of x is equals to x plus 3. So how exactly can I draw a graph, right? So maybe I'll just use a blank slide. Just give me a second. Bear with me. I'll just duplicate it. And I will just delete this. And let's talk about this. So if I have, maybe I'll use a different function so that it will be more clear. Maybe we'll do with this first, then I'll do slightly more. Okay, so let's imagine there is a function f of x is equals to x plus 3. Now the job is to draw a graph, right? You can get a question framed on functions and graph in two ways in GRE. One, I give you a function and ask you to select a suitable graph from the given options. So I'll be giving 4 or 5 graph images in the options. So you have to choose the relevant one. are the other way around, which is I would give you a graph and ask you to find the suitable, equation, or some, which of the following options are the right equation for this following graph. Right. So let's first do the first part, which is I have a equation. Now let's draw a graph. So what you have to do is simple, right? In a graph, there is x and y axis. So x is my input, y is my output. Okay. So if x is 0 in this, what is f of 0? 0 plus 3, which is y is 3. Now if x is 1, f of 1 is 4. If x is equals to minus 1, f of minus 1 is equals to 2. I know if some of you might be well versed with, doing a linear equation graph, the coordinate geometry concept, fair enough. I'm just trying to get the very basic part for some of you who might have some issues with this. It could also be like I could give you f of x is equals to x cube plus 3, right? A quadratic will have a parabolic shape, a cubic would have a slightly different shape. So it's not easy to always, just draw it. Sometimes you might have to assume as a rather go in this approach also. So now I have this, right? So when x is 0, y is 3. So this is my point, 0 comma 3. When x is 1, y is 4. So this is the point, right, where y is 4 and x is 1. Very basic coordinate geometry I'm talking about. So x is minus 1, then y is 2. This will be minus 1 comma 2. This is how the equation of a line would look, right? This is what I think this graph is looking, right? So see, this one is nothing but 0 comma 3. This one is nothing but minus 2 is what this is, right? So this is minus 1. So this is that minus 1 comma 2. So minus 2 comma 1 and something like this, right? So if I have 1, so this is nothing but 1 comma 4. So this is how you can draw a graph, or rather look at the options and see if it is fitting by just substituting some values and get the job done in a very simple and straightforward manner. Imagine slightly more, the other way around question that I'm talking about, right? Which is, let me just erase all the ink. Pen is black. Yeah. So let's say that I have, a equation like this, which is drawn like this. So I'll just give you points, 4 comma 0. Let's call this as 0 comma 2. Okay. uh, then I'll give you two options, maybe three options. You just tell me which of the following, right, is the function. This graph is basically depiction of which of these functions. Okay. Let me generate some equations in my mind, then I'll write down. Just give me like 10 seconds. Hmm. Not able to get this in my head. Just give me a second. So we have what? Okay. Four. Okay. It's a little bit complex, but I'm gonna write something like x plus 1 by 2. Okay, let's say f of x is x plus 1 by 2. The other one would be something in the lines of x minus 1 by 2. Right. And then we'll have, right. So you tell me. No, I don't want the equations on this. I want which of this would be the function that depicts this graph, right? The question is, imagine that this is the graph that is there. Now, which of these functions would be, depicting this graph is my question. I think I so actually none of this would be. Can someone tell me what would be the f of x? That's correct. What Sandesh said is partially correct. It's just I need you to be rewriting it. So can someone tell me? None of these are correct. I would tell you why these are not correct in a way. One is the substitution method I'm going to do, but I know the answer, but they are not in this. So can someone tell me what's the answer so that I'll write it down? Or if you can't, then I will write. So f of x is equals to what? No one? Okay, okay, sorry. Take your time. Take your time. No idea? Okay, no worries. Right. You're almost there, Sandesh. Okay, maybe that's the way we've written it. So ideally it will be 2 minus x by 2 or 4 minus x by 2 as what you have also written. That's fairly correct. Uh, so see this, if imagine that the question had four options like this, 4 minus x by 2. Now let's say you don't know how to find the equation. There is a way which is x by a plus y by b is equals to 1 is the intercept form in coordinate geometry. Don't worry, I'll not discuss this for now. You'll have it in a different class, but just that's one way to do. So you can do x by 4 plus y by 2 is equals to 1 at x by 2, sorry, x by 4 plus y by 2 is equals to 1. That's going to give you 2x plus y is equals to 4. Right. Sorry. X plus 2y is equals to 4. Yeah, my bad. Just multiply with 4 is what I'm doing. So x plus 2y is equals to 4. So I'm just readjusting. It will give me y is equals to 4 minus x by 2. That's what even Sandesh was writing. This was the equation he wrote. This is one way you do it. Imagine that you are not comfortable with all of this. So what is the way to do? You can do with the substitution. What is that? See, I know that one of the point that satisfies this graph is x is equals to 4 and f of x is equals to 0. When x is equals to 4, this is y, right? So y is nothing but f of x here. So now let's substitute all the while here. Let's say if x is equals to 4, what is this? 4 plus 1 by 2. What about this? 4 minus 1 by 2. This is minus 4 minus 1 by 2. 4 minus 4 by 2. So this is 5 by 2. This is 3 by 2. This is minus 5 by 2. And this is 0. So none of them are correct. This one is giving me what it needs to give me. So by substituting, I understand that this should be the correct depiction of the graph. Obviously, at least one more option would have something that gives you 0. Then what should I do? Then now I'll try with one more example where if x is 0, then f of 0 must be equals to how much as per the graph? If x is 0, so f of 0 must be as per this. How much should be f of 0? 2, because that's the y, right? So that's why you'll just substitute 0, 0, 0 and see which one gives you. So if I substitute here, 4 minus 0 by 2 is nothing but 4 by 2 gives me 2. So that's why the answer is option 4, something like this, right? So you can substitute and do. This is the core mathematics style of doing it. Let's say you're not comfortable with it, at least substitution is a good way to do it. Okay, is this clear? The graphs one that we discussed on how to plot a graph from the equation or function and the other way around, which is to find the function from the graph. Great. How to form the equation. So this is what I said. There are different ways to do it. So we'll discuss that in depth in coordinate geometry, but this is one simple intercept form you can do. So this is x-intercept. So it will be x by 4 and this is y-intercept y by 2. There is y is equals to mx plus c style. Right, there are 2-3 ways you can draw or write coordinate geometry based equations, but I think we'll go in depth in that. Don't worry for now. Just as long as you're comfortable in plotting couple of points in the graph and substituting in the options or the other way around to plot, you should be good for these discussions. Okay, the third concept of functions that I want you to know is the domain of a function. Okay, so what is this domain of a function? So I'll just say simple. So far we discussed this input output, right? So there is a function and x is the input here, and I will get y as the output, or f of x is output basically. Okay, so what is the point that I want you to understand in terms of domain is nothing but what values can I give to X so that the output is a valid output. If you give an invalid input, the output would obviously be an invalid thing, right? Be it in any technical term I'm talking about in real life, right? If I'm running a mission and then it's supposed to, do some job, but I'm not giving the right product. And imagine a waving machine and then I don't give it a thread or a wool, rather I give it a plastic. Obviously, it will not work. So that's what this is about. The domain of a function is nothing but what all are acceptable inputs to get a valid output is what it is. Okay, so there are a couple of important things for you to know. What it means by this, when I say what is the output being valid, I will show you few cases where it is not valid. So obviously, other than that, everything else is valid. Typically, the standard ones you would see is like this. Okay, can someone tell me what is square root of -4 at a mathematical level? What is square root of -4? Hmm. Not root 2i, just 2i. Right. I is imaginary number. I is nothing but square root of -1. So in GREs, or rather scope of functions, this one is considered as a invalid output because we are always going to talk about only real numbers, not the imaginary numbers or complex numbers basically. So that's why this is out of discussion. Okay. The second one I want to understand is what is 0/4? 0. Good. What about 4/0? No, it's not. It's not 1. Infinity is what I think some of the cases we use in math. I'm not denying anything by 0 is treated as infinity. Okay, but in this we would treat it as an invalid output again. Right? Yeah, undefined is correct. Right? Anything by 0 is an undefined output for me. So if I pass an input, it should not lead to me anything by 0 in a function. Okay, then that input is not a valid input. If I give an input to a function that leaves me with an imaginary number, that's an invalid output. So that means that input is not a correct input. So that is technically what you will mostly observe for the domain of a function based questions. Okay, mostly I think it's a 99.9%. If you get a question, they would not define it like domain. That's not the standard. I mean, that's a standard term, but I haven't seen in the books of GRE where they call it domain. Rather, they would say, for example, for which of the following values, for which of the following values of x, right, would this function be undefined? For which of the following values of x would the function be undefined? Is one way they will ask a question, which is nothing but technically talking you to find the domain. Okay, they might ask for how many values. For how many values is the function undefined? Again, it's talking about finding the invalid inputs. See, domain of a function means talking about the valid inputs, but the questions would focus on for which of them would be invalid or undefined, which is anti-domain basically, right? So this is how you should, look at. So I'll give you one example question. You tell me. Obviously, I have some questions to solve, but I'll just go ahead. Before we go ahead, I'll solve. I mean, let's say f of x is equals to square root of x minus 6 divided by x minus 2. Okay, this is a function. Okay, square root of x minus 6 divided by, there's no square root, x minus 2. For what values, right, is this function undefined? Let's say this is what the question is. Okay, this is the function f of x is equals to square root of x minus 6 by x minus 2. For what values of x is this function undefined is the question. So you tell me some values where it is undefined. That should be good enough to confirm that you guys have understood this. Right. Perfect. So for definitely one problematic value is if x is equals to 2. Why? Because as I said, if x is equals to 2, I'm going to get by 0, which is not accepted. So this is ruled out. Obviously, x is equals to 2 is also problem here, because square root of 2 minus 6 is nothing but square root of minus 4. So there should not be a negative in square root, because that will lead to imaginary value. As what others said, x should, if x is less than 6, like 5, I mean, they might say for integer values also. Otherwise, you should also understand 5.9 is also a problem. Why? Because square root of 5.9 minus 6 gives me square root of minus 0.1, which is again a invalid output for me. Imaginary numbers, square root of negative is not accepted. Something by 0 is not accepted. These are the two common culprits where the function output will be undefined. So as what you said, x, if it is less than 6, is a problem for me. Minus 5, minus 10, 1, 0, 2, 3, 4, 2.5. If I'm only talking about integers, anything less than 6, like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, minus 1, minus 1, minus 2, minus infinite. What all are acceptable if x is 6? What happens if x is 6? Square root of 6 minus 6 is 0, by 6 minus 2 is 4, 0 by 4 is 0 is accepted. If x is 7, 7 minus 6 is square root 1, which is 5, so 1 by 5 is accepted. So that 8 minus 6, anything is fine. Square root of 2 is a valid output. Okay. Square root of negative is not valid. Anything by 0 is not valid as output. So look for what values give an invalid output, right? So let's do some questions. Very simple one. Just quickly solve this and then we can move ahead. Please solve this question which I am showing on the screen. If f of x is x squared plus 1, what is f of 2 plus f of minus 2? Hmm? All the answers are pointing to the same value. Right. So, okay. So f of 2 means I just have to substitute x is equals to 2 here, right? So 2 square plus 1, which is 5. F of minus 2 means minus 2 square is also plus 4, right? So 5 plus 5 is going to give me 10. So the answer is E. Perfect. Now let's solve this one. Oh, I think this one is a mistake. So it should be f of x. That's very simple again. If f of x is equals to 2x, I think there's something missing in this question. Let me check once. F of x is 2x and g of x. I think it must be asking what is f of g of something. Can someone check the handout? Let me just check once. I think there's a mistake here in this. Okay, it's missing in handout also. So just try with f of g of 3. Forget about the options for now. It's a mistake from our side. We'll fix this by tomorrow. Just try to do this one. Let's say f of x is 2x and g of x is x cube. What is f of g of 3? Or you can try for minus 3. I think that based on answers it looks so, but yeah. So f of g of minus 3 is what I am asking you to do. Sorry for the change. So try for this. Because I don't think you got that right. Mhm. Only two answers. So when you have something like this, right, all you have to do is first solve the innermost one. right? Just take it independently. Treat what is g of minus 3. You get the value. What is g of minus 3 based on this? Please tell me. When you have like this, right, f of g of, let's say n can be any level of function inside a function inside a function. Always start from solving the innermost one, right? Perfect. So g of minus 3 is nothing but minus 3 cube. Why? Because f of g of x is x cube, so I just have to do it. So minus 3 cube is minus 27, right? Minus 3 into minus 3 into minus 3, so minus. Perfect. So now this will translate to f of minus 27. Now what is f of minus 27? Substitute here and tell me the answer, which is what I think some of you have given the answer. Yeah, which is 2 into minus 27. Why? Because x is nothing but minus 27 here, right? F of minus 27. So just substitute here and I get minus 54. I think that was supposed to be the question, I guess. We missed it. Sorry for that confusion. Okay, I hope everyone is clear on how to deal with a function inside a function. Are we good to go? All right. Now, what about this domain of a function, right? So maybe I'll just rephrase it this way. It's a very mathematical style of asking a question, what is the domain? Or you can also tell me for what values of x is the function defined. For what values of x is the function defined. Okay, so f of x is square root of x minus 2 by x. So all you have to do is identify for what it is not defined. Obviously, the rest all will be a valid input to give me a defined function. So for what values of x is function defined is the supposed to be the answer. Or find the domain also. Domain means that if I take a value from the domain and give it as input, that should give me a valid output. Why should it be between 0 to 1, Sandesh? Right, let's say if I take x as 1.5, maybe 2.5. What's the problem with it? Okay, okay. And if x is 2.5, it is still accepted. If you have options in questions, all you have to do is just find the domain, pick a value from the range. So imagine the option says like x is less than 2, x is greater than or equals to 3, x is greater than or equals to 2, right? X should be less than or equals to minus 5. Imagine these are the 4 options you have. All you have to do is this. Domain is x is less than 2. Tell me one acceptable value which is defining this inequality, x is equal less than 2. What is that one value that I can take as an example value? If x is less than 2, one example value that would satisfy this inequality, like x, if x is like what, 0, okay, yeah, 1 also is fine, right? If x is less than 2, it can be 0, 1, minus 1, minus 2. Now I substitute here and check. If that is not satisfying the value I've taken, then definitely this is not the answer, right? So x is 0 is definitely not satisfying. Why? Square root of 0 minus 2 gives me negative values, so it's ruled out. So that's one way to deal with the options, right? As what you guys have said. Now let's say x is greater than 3. I take x is equals to 3, 4, 5. Everything would satisfy. Yeah, sorry. If I take x is 3, square root of 3 minus 2 is good. Square root of 4 minus 2 is good. Square root of 5 minus 2 is good. All of these are valid values. Okay. So this is supposedly a good answer for me for now. But what is the difference between these two? I have to also check this. So if x is equals to 2, still that is satisfying. Why? Because square root of 2 minus 2 by 2 is 0. This is also accepted value. So 2, 3, 4, 5. This is also correct. both of them are satisfying mine, but obviously the domain should have the broadest possible range. You should not miss any valid input. So this is not a complete domain. This is the complete domain. Obviously, if I have x is less than or equals to -5, I'll take x is equals to, tell me some example values which would be in this domain. X is less than or equals to -5. Couple of example values that I can substitute, which will satisfy this. -6, -7. You can take even -5 because it's equals to, no? So let's substitute -5 here. Square root of -5 -2 by -5. This is also wrong because it's square root of -7 is also not accepted. So ruled out. Ruled out. So this is a tricky option I just gave randomly. But again, if you see both of them are almost same, it's just this is more broader than the full definition of domain. So the answer is x is greater than or equals to 2. The other way to do the same without options, right? I'm just saying at a very, very, very basic math level type of thought process to carry forward is, what are the failure points in this, right? One, denominator should not be 0, right? If 0 is there, then by 0 will come, which is undefined. Then square root should not be negative. That means what is inside square root? X minus 2. So x minus 2 should always be greater than or equals to 0. That's my expectation, right? So that the entire expression inside is always positive. Just send it this side, you'll get x is greater than or equals to 2. This is what the answer is. And anyways, when x is greater than or equals to 2, 0 is not in that discussion. So I'm happy and I can confidently mark this as the answer. Right? This is mathematical style. Otherwise, also you can use substitution style. So is this clear for everyone? I feel people get a little bit lost in the domain and this inequalities when I discuss. So just wanted to make sure. If not, I'll discuss something in depth again if you guys need it. If anyone needs this, don't hesitate and ask me. I'll repeat something. If anything that's not clear. If you're good to go, please let me know so that I can skip and move ahead. So no is very ambiguous for me at this point. Say good, clear, move ahead, I'll move ahead. If not, let me know. Right. I mean, if you can let me know what is the confusion, I'll explain it. Again, being silent would not help me also, or you or others in the class. What is this? Is this confusion of? I don't see any answer. I hope I'm not the only one in the class. What do you guys want me to do? If you don't tell me, I'll move ahead. Then okay, Sandesh is the only one who's saying move ahead. What about others? Okay, cool. Thank you. Okay, this is another question. Slightly complex. Try for this. This I think should clarify for me whether you guys got it or not. Oh, sorry. I'll ask you one. So, Shruti and Anushka, what happens if x is 0? Would that give me an invalid output or valid output? Can you tell me what is j of 0? Because you said x should be greater than 1 as the domain, right? So 0 is outside that domain. 1 to infinity is what you are saying when I said x is. greater than 1. That means I'm talking about a number line. This is 1, this is plus infinity, and this is 0. So you're saying this is the domain. But this all is not accepted, is what you're saying. What if x is 0? What is g of 0? Can someone tell me what will be g of 0? So 0 by minus 6 is what? 0. So that's a valid output, right? Okay. So Syog, you are saying it should be between minus 2, x less than 1. Let's say if x is 2, okay, what will happen? What is g of 2? Because 2 is outside, no? We have 1 here, minus 2 here, 0 here, and 2 is here. So you are saying this is the domain. I am taking a value outside it. Would it give me an undefined output? What is g of 2? It's slightly 2 square, 4 2s are 8 plus 9, 17 by 3 2s are 6 minus 3 into 4. So whatever it is, it's going to be a valid output. So it's okay. So guys, what Sandesh is saying is the answer. See, what are the common culprits? I said, is there a square root here? No. So this problem is ruled out. There's no way that I'll get an imaginary number. What is the only culprit? The denominator being 0. Okay, when will it be 0? Either when I'm multiplying something by a into b will be 0 only when a is 0 or b is 0, or if both of them are 0, which is not a possibility here, right? So when will 3x minus 3 be 0? When will 3x minus 3 be 0? Obviously, I'll equate it to 0. Tell me what is the value of x? X is equals to 1. And when will x plus 2 be 0? When x is equals to minus 2, right? So if x is 1, I'm going to get something by 0. If x is minus 2, I'm going to get something by 0. For everything else other than this, okay, for everything else other than this, I'm going to get a valid output. Why? Because there's no other way, no square root out of discussion. And something by something, the denominator will be 0 when x is equals to 1 or x is equals to minus. This is like the quadratic equation, no? X minus a into x minus b, something like that. So obviously it's only for two values it will be 0, which is 1 and 2. So obviously if I ask a question like this in GI, it will say for how many values is this function undefined? The answer should be 2. Which of the following, I'll give you multiple checkboxes question and would ask which of the following options would give me an undefined output. So you'll again mark these two. These are the two types you could get. In a very mathematical style, you should write all the real numbers minus 1 comma minus 2. Everything from minus infinity to infinity is allowed except 1 comma minus 2. Even in between also it's fine, right? I can have 0, I can have minus 1, I can have 1.1, 0.9. Everything else will give me a definition. Output is valid. Only these two values are the culprits for me. So the answer should be like this, right? 1 and minus 2. That's what I want you to know, right? I hope everyone is clear with this. Yeah, no worries. I understand. So see, the domain is this, right? Anything between minus infinity and infinite, all the real numbers except minus 2 and 1. That's how you write the flower brackets. When I write flower brackets, it basically means only this and this. I'm not talking in between them. When I use this brackets, I'm talking about minus 2, minus 1, and between. Obviously, circular means excluding these two, but everything between them. And if I write square brackets, it's minus 2 comma 1 means between minus 2 to 1, including them. That's the square bracket. If I put circular, everything between them, but not including these two endpoints. That's the difference. If I do a flower bracket, nothing between them. I don't care about middle. Only the 2 points that are being mentioned is what we should treat as, values that needs to be excluded. That's why I'm putting minus sign. Everything except these two. But you will not see this depiction a lot in the GRE. As I said, they would ask more like values and ask you to select the values that give you undefined output, or for how many values. So the answer should be 2. 1 and minus 2 are the two values for which the function is undefined. Okay, is this clear? If something is confusing, don't worry, you can go back and watch this video. You'll understand about the circular brackets, flower brackets, and all. You don't have to really go too deep into it. They ask at a very superficial level in the GRE exam. Right. These are some word problems. We'll skip for now. Again, same function explanation only. Let's talk about the formulas, which are exactly like function only, right? See, I think I don't even want to discuss something. So let's look at this question. Okay. Instead of saying f of x is equals to 2x square plus 2, which is what we have been doing so far, and asking you what is f of 4, what did they do? They said, if I have a special symbol, it could be square root. I could also do like this. Square box of x is nothing but 2x square plus 2. Then what is square box of 4? At the rate x is equals to 2x square plus 2. Then what is at the rate 4? This is just some, a simple way of asking a question. That's it. There's no difference between this and this and this. Okay. Why is there a square box? Why is there at the rate? Why is there a square root here? No logic. It's just defining a new thing. That's it. This is the definition. What is square root of x in this question? Not the normal square root you are used to. Square root of x is 2x square plus 2. So what is square root of 4? We just have to substitute x as 4 and get the answer. See, I think, one second. This is a bit tricky. I'm seeing that you guys are getting it wrong. What you guys are saying is not what the question is. See, what is square root of 4 is nothing but 2 into 4 square plus 2, which is 34. I get it. I agree with 34 is the value of square root of 4. But that is not equals to square root of 34, right? Which is what this option is saying, which is not the correct option. Why? Because what is square root of 34 in this world, in this question? Square root of 34 means 2 into 34 square plus 2, which will be some other number, which is not definitely 34. Okay. Is it clear why root 34 is not the answer? Because root 34 is not equals to 34. Root 34 in this question means you have to, put 34 into x and then calculate the value. Square root of 4 or root 4 is 2 into 4 square plus 2. Happy. But that is 34, but that's not root 34. So what is this root of 2? Right, all you have to do is first do how we did, this f of g of x sort of it. Imagine like this, first do the innermost root 2. What is innermost root 2? Root of 2 into, I'm replacing this innermost root 2 with this, 2 into 2 square plus 2, which is nothing but 2 square is 4, 2 is 8 plus 2, 10. So now root of 10 is what? Again, substitute this 2 into 10 square plus 2, which is 202. Again, not equals to 34. Ruled out. So this is the only one that we have that we should, not the only one. Some of you said, let me try this. Square root of minus 1. What is square root of minus 1? 2 into minus 1 square plus 2, which is nothing but 2 plus 2, which is 4. So now I replace this part with just 4. So square root of minus 1 is nothing but square root of 4, which is what this one is, right? So the answer is A. Perfect. I think only one, a couple of you got it, but maybe I'll just erase and I'll repeat this. Okay. Look at it from this way. Imagine the question is not this. So it's better to solve the options. Not necessary, but depends on the question. Okay. Obviously, here there is no other way other than to solve the options, right? Because these are again two independent values. You have to find what are they in the normal numbers, and you have to compare this and do it. So see, the question is like this. If f of x is equals to 2x square plus 2, what is f of x? That's what the question is. Now, what are the options they've given? A is equals to f of minus 1. Why did I do f of? Because there's a square root, that is 1f, there's another square root, another f. What about square root of minus 2 is nothing but f of minus 2. What about this? The square root of 2. And then you have d, which is square root of 17, so f of 17, and d is f of 34. This is what the question is in our discussion so far. Just they have replaced a function definition with a simple symbol definition. You just solve it, you will get the answer as this, and f of 4. Sorry, what is f of 4? Is basically the same. So the answer is option A. Yes, we have no other choice other than to do the options for this question. Because I know f of 4 is 34, but the options are asking you to say which one is 34, right? Which one is going to give the same output as 34. So the way is only to find them. And luckily, the first option itself is giving you the answer. So the answer is 34. I mean, sorry, first option. Right. So let's do one question. Yeah, let's try this. Then I think you'll understand. So here the complexities, they've defined it. Okay. They said, see, there's a hash x, nothing but like f of x is basically what? Square of the number that is 2 less than x. So this is where the complexity comes. You tell me what should I write here. Because if you tell me that, then the answer is done. Because I see people get confused in converting the English into mathematical algebraic expression. It says square of the number that is 2 less than x. So what should I write here? So what is the definition of this hash x, f of x? Okay, that's one attempt. Let's see what others have to say. Okay, that's a good attempt actually. Answer is the same, x minus 2 whole square. But how do I do this? See, it says 2 less than x. If I say I am 5 centimeters less than 10, what does it mean? 10 minus 5. So 2 less than x means x minus 2. And then it says square it. Square of 2 less than x, right? So which is x minus 2 is 2 less than x. Whole of it should be squared. So this is the definition. So what is this basically? Hash 5 minus hash of minus 1, which is nothing but f of 5 minus f of minus 1. So what is the answer? You tell me now. What is f of 5 and what is f of minus 1? Substitute, get the answers and tell me the answer. Okay. So 5 minus 2 is 3. 3 square is 9. Minus 1 minus 2 is minus 3. So minus 3 square is also 9. So 9 minus 9 is 0. Perfect. I think everyone got that right. So this is the formula concept. Okay. You will sometimes see a simple definition in this function itself, luckily. Sometimes you might see something like an English definition of it. You just have to convert it into equation and then you're good to go. Right. It's just extension of functions at a very, very fundamental level. Nothing new. And the last concept for the day, we'll just wrap in 10 minutes. It's already 9:30. I get it. So we'll just take 10 more and we'll wrap it. See, in sequences and series, all you have to know is arithmetic progression and geometry progression. Nothing beyond that. Harmonic. Even these at a very, very basic level. What is an arithmetic progression? There is a series like 2, 6, 10, 14, 18, and so on. That is difference between any two consecutive terms. That is second term minus first term is 4. Third term minus second term is 4. Fourth term minus third term is any two consecutive terms should always be a same value. If I see that behavior, it is an arithmetic progression. So the first term is called as A. And the difference that I'm talking about, called a common difference D, is nothing but the difference between any two consecutive terms, right? Second minus one, third minus second, fourth minus third, fifth minus fourth, etc. So with this, all you have to know is the nth term formula. That is, if I have to find the 10th term of this series, right? One way is I keep writing 14 plus 4, 18, 18 plus 4, 22, 22 plus 4, 26, 26 plus 4, 30, and so on. The other way is to apply this formula, which is A plus n minus 1 into D. Right? A is the first term, n is whatever the nth term is, 10 minus 1 into 4. So 9 4s are 36, plus 2, the answer is 38. This is one formula you need to know to find the nth term. The other formula is sum of first n terms. Right? If I ask you the same for this series, what is the sum of first 10 terms? Right, which is 30, 34, and 38. These are the first 10 terms. Add 2 plus, 6 plus, 10 plus, 14 plus, and so on up to 34 plus 38. The value is nothing but n by 2 into the first term plus the last term. That's the simple formula. Our first term plus the nth term, because we're talking about this. So if I substitute this for my nth term, the first term is a and the last term is nth term is a plus n minus 1 into d. If I just do the formula, would come as n by 2 into 2 of a plus n minus 1 into d. This is the formula. Right? This is the other formula that you need to keep in mind to do the sum of n terms. Second one is the geometric progression, which is I have a value, I just keep multiplying. 2 4s are 8, 8 4s are 32, 32 4s are 128, 128 4s are, what is this? 251, and so on. Okay, so this is like, which is 2 into 4 is 8, 8 into 4 is 32, 32 into 4 is 128, 128 into 4. So any two consecutive terms I divide, right? 8 by 2 is 4, 32 by 8 is 4. I'm getting the same ratio. That's called a geometric progression. The first term is A, and the common ratio R is basically the 4 here in this. Now it can ask the same nth term, which should be A into R power n minus 1. This should be good enough. You don't even need the sum of n terms, but I'll just write that also. Just sum of n terms of geometric progression would be A into 1 minus R power n by 1 minus R. Right? This is what you have to do. Okay, R, if R is okay, this is fine. Like either you do R power n minus 1 by R minus 1 or 1 minus R power n by 1 minus R, it's gonna be the same. So you can do this for your n points. So this is maximum. Okay, I mean even this I have not seen actually. Maximum you'll see this, you'll see this, and you'll see this. If they ask you questions, this is what should be comfortable with. Okay, the extension of the application is one question that I want to do. Let's do this quickly. We'll do 2 questions and then we'll wrap it for today. So just try this simple arithmetic sequence. They gave the first 3 terms. So now find the 80th term. Trying to come. Just give me a second. Now, but getting a background noise there with me. So I haven't seen the answers. Okay, someone posted the answer. What about others? I think this is fairly straightforward question, right? So the first 3 terms are given. That means this must be A. And what is the common difference? 3, because 33 minus 30 is 3. 36 minus 33 is 3. I just need to find the 80th term. So n is 80. So 80th term, sorry. 80th term is A plus n minus 1 into D. So which is 30 plus 80 minus 1 into 3. So 79 3s are plus 30. So that is 267. Perfect. Simple and straightforward. Just apply the formula and you get it. The other type you would get would be something like this. Okay. They would use that there is a sequence. It's not necessarily an AP or GP. Okay. This one is not a geometrical arithmetic progression and you don't need to worry about it. I'll tell you a simple hint. They'll give you S1. What does it mean? This basically means nth term. S of n doesn't mean sum of n terms. Please understand this because they said the sequence is called S. That's just the nomenclature. That's it. S of n means nth term is equals to 2 times n minus 1th means previous term. N minus 1th term minus 4. This is the definition. Okay. Now they gave us the first term 6. Now they're asking what is the fifth term. When you get questions like this, all you have to do is I know the first term. And this relation is connecting two consecutive terms, nth term, n minus 1th term. So I know the first term, I can find the second term by substituting in this formula. So how do I do it? Substitute n is equals to 2. So if n is 2, what is this? S of 2 is equals to 2 into S of 2 minus 1, which is 1. That means S of 1, or it's the first term, minus 4. So what is S1? Nothing but 6. So 2 into 6 minus 4, which is 12 minus 4, which is 8. So S2 is equals to 8. Now I got S2. Now once I know the second term, let's find the third term. How do I do it? By putting n is equals to 3. You keep doing and give me the answer S5. Substitute and give me the answer for S5. So S5 can't be 14. Maybe you said S3. Even that I doubt. Yeah, even that is not correct. No problem. Right. So if I know S2, what is S3? S3 is equals to 2 times S2 minus 4, which is 2 into 8 minus 4. 16 minus 4 is 12. Okay. Now what is S4? 2 into S3 minus 4, which is 2 into 12 minus 4. 24 minus 4 is 20. What about S5? 2 times S4 minus 4. So 2 into 20 minus 4, which is 36. Right, the answer is 36 for this. Right. Let's do one question. Last one. Not sure how much energy you guys have. We'll just wrap with this. The same one, very similar style. There is a definition. P of nth term is, because P is the sequence, 10 into P of n minus 1, the previous term, minus 2. They gave P1, they're asking us for P4. Let's quickly do this and we'll wrap up with this. Okay, that's a big answer. I didn't know this. Okay, cool then. Think most of you gave the answer, three of you. Then that must be the answer. So what is P2? 10 times P1 minus 2. So since P1 is 2, that is nothing but 10 into 2 minus 2, 18. What about P3? 10 times P2 minus 2, that is 180. 10 into 18 minus 2 is 178. P4 is 10 times P3 minus 2, which is going to be 10 into 178 is 1780 minus 2, 1778. Perfect. Happy that all the answers that we gave are right. So, yep, that's it for today's session, guys. So there are some more questions in the handouts. You can solve them. But all the concepts we've discussed, the sequences, the AP, GP, and how do you deal with this sequence-based questions, the functions and formulas. So that should be the wrap up of the algebra. Will we get difficult questions from functions? I think what we solved, you can actually solve the handout questions that are there as in the last chapter problems, and they should be fairly the representation of the quality of questions you get. What we solved initially are not that hard, I would say, right? The domain function is okay. When I said this one, right? These are easier questions: f of x, g of x, f of g of x. This one is not proper function of GRE in terms of how the question has been framed. As I said, they would ask what values would be giving defined, undefined, etc. But these questions, the word problems, if you solve this one, the formula questions that we have solved are fairly the GRE standard questions, right? Definitely, we haven't solved the ultra hard questions. I wouldn't deny that, but medium, easy questions are there in our, if you solve the chapter problems, I think you'll come across some hard questions also. You'll understand the mix of easy, hard, medium, and that should be a good reflection. Tarang, so we have put all of them in our portal. So all you have to do is just go to Ubergrad website, your account, log into your account. So go for your My Test Prep, look at the live GRE classes. So whatever the classes we have done so far, we have done arithmetic and algebra, and we have done reading comprehension and AVA. You'll find every handout, like today's handout, you'll find it over here. Just have to click them. You can download them. You can go through them. We have handouts for all the classes that we have done so far. The future classes obviously we haven't put, so we'll put it as we move to the next concepts in the coming weeks. Right, great. Anything else, guys? If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer those. We can end this call. Been almost 9:45, so it's been late for everyone. Thanks a lot for staying back and doing your best this late in the night. I really appreciate your effort. Right. Hope you are having great classes and wish you all the best. And hopefully we'll meet soon. Some other classes, some other webinars that we keep doing regularly. Great. Thanks a lot for engaging students that I have so far. So all the best. Good night. See you soon. Bye bye.